This is why I love having a channel. What is going on, guys? Carter here with Edge Mindset. We've got a package in from a friend of the channel, a knife friend that sent me this to check out. He sent me another knife to check out. And I've also sent him a couple knives to check out. So very cool stuff. I'm really excited to scope this one out. I did cut open the box just to save time, but I have not checked this out yet. Let's see, we got a note here. This is the Arkona Buran KNP edition, as in Knife Nuts Podcast. She's also a front flipper, but not a tempting mistress. More like Gina Davis and Long Kiss Goodnight. Enjoy, buddy, Ian. Thank you so much, Ian. I am really excited to check this one out. It looks super slick. Now, there is a little bit of, I'm not going to say drama. There's a little bit of something maybe with this knife. A little hint, something to do with who makes the knife. They also might make other very popular knives, which, depending on if it's true, could maybe mean certain things. I'm not going to touch on that in this video because I need to do some more research before I start spreading rumors. This video is just going to be checking it out and unboxing. There's the information there. What do we got? M390. We got a bunch of measurements. Oh, 50 of 35. How does that work? No, that's got to be 50 of 75? I don't know. This sure looks like 50 of 35. Maybe they went over on the run. They did some extra ones. I'm not sure. Maybe they're supposed to be one. I don't know. 45. No? Yeah. If anybody has an idea of what I'm missing there, let me know. But let's check this out. Woo! That looks very space aged. Oh, look at that carbon fiber. That's an interesting logo. That is a beetle mouth. Isn't that a beetle mouth? Doesn't that look like a Hercules beetle mouth, right? I don't know. Maybe that's not what it's supposed to be. And these guys are going to see this and be like, what are you talking about? That is not what we were going for there. Oh, ooh, yeah. Okay, he always tells me this, and I always forget. He likes to really grease up the blades to protect it in shipping, so that there's no rust or anything. So he always tells me that, and every time I unbox one of his knives, I'm like, oh, that's so greasy. Here it is right there, the Arkona. Now, I'm purposely holding off from showing you the coolest thing about this knife. I don't know a lot about it, but I do know that it has a really cool locking mechanism. I believe, I could be wrong. I might be speaking out of school. 35 out of 50. Wait a minute. Oh, interesting. It's just backwards. Okay, so I was reading it right, but it's just backwards. 35 out of 50. Okay, cool. That's very cool. So I believe that GTC, Gustavo, the custom maker, I think he invented this lock, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I know it's used on some other knives, maybe a Shirogorov, could be wrong. But I think he invented this, maybe. But it's very cool. So they've basically cut out this lock bar here, but it's not like a frame lock, you can see. But then it comes through on this side. So they've like sliced it this way, cut it out that way. So you have your lock accessible right here, but then you don't have a full frame lock. I'm still trying to wrap my head around this particular setup and what the benefit might be. My heart says, my gut says, there is absolutely no benefit over this and a liner lock, right? Because it doesn't seem to have the benefit of a frame lock where, let's see, well, here's a frame lock. A frame lock where your grip actually reinforces the lock, right? That's kind of part of the concept. You squeeze the knife, and if you're in a real dire situation, you're squeezing really hard, you're putting extra pressure on this lock bar and keeping it in place, right? The downside is you've got this exposed lock bar, and sometimes it gets in the way of actioning the knife. If you are trying to thumb flick it, you're putting pressure on this, which is putting pressure on the detent ball, which then keeps the blade in the closed position. And depending on your hand size and the shape of the knife, sometimes it can make things a little bit crappy. So this eliminates all of that because you're less likely to interact with this. However, you still can, but you don't have the benefit of gripping that lock bar, and you also don't have the benefit of extra contact. So I don't know. I got to sit on this. I'm going on a tangent here. I got to sit on the concept of this lock bar, even though this knife, I don't think invented it. It's just using it. So very cool space age type material or space age type design here. Looks like a spaceship. We've got a light purple ano on the pocket clip. Everything works so well together. This is super light too. Let's get a weight on this. This carbon fiber front scale and all the titanium, 4 ounces. Now you may be saying that's not that light, but when you consider how big this thing is, that's a big knife. What's the weight on this PM2 with my Carta scales? So this PM2 is 3.6 ounces, so barely lighter, and there is not a drop of titanium on this thing, whereas this whole side pocket clip is all titanium. Very cool. Let's check that action here. Let's do some front flipping's nice. Oh, I can't do the index. Oh, I barely can. Oh, come on. If I really kind of get it right, it's got a very strong detent on it. It doesn't want to just fly open. Everything's nice and tight. Ooh, can't really do the thumb flick. If I hold it really light, I probably can. So very cool. Very cool. It's crazy freaking knife design here from Arkona. Nice high flat grind. Reasonably thin behind the, quite thin behind the edge. Nice and consistent too all the way to the tip. There's the tip strength. There is the thickness of the steel. We've got a exposed stop pin for the open and closed position right there. It doesn't look like it's used as an anchor point for the scales though. It's just the pivot. And then this body screw, and then I guess the pocket clip probably goes all the way through as well, which looks reversible. This shredded carbon fiber with this geometric design looks really cool. Really cool. And then, of course, you got the Beetleborg head on the top here, which is always fun. So, definitely very cool. Thank you, Ian, for letting me check this out. I'm going to carry this around, just probably in the house, right? I'm not going to take it out doing anything crazy, but play with it a little bit more, form an opinion. And I also want to look up some of these things I've heard about this knife and see if there is any truth to what I'm hearing, or at least enough information to kind of spill a little bit of tea. All right, guys, what do you think of this Arkona? Comment down below. As always, I appreciate the heck out of you guys. Talk to you later.